have you heard anything about the Beijing Olympics that's happening in 2022?
No.
What do you think about that? Do you think that we should have an Olympics in China in 2022?
Oh, because of the whole COVID situation?
Yeah.
I mean, if the cases are down, I don't see why not.
I don't know about that.
Why?
I mean, whether they want to admit it or not, it this whole virus happened because of China. Whether it's the
Okay.
government or
Well, it came from
it
there.
came from China, but it's their fault. It's still like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not blaming every single Chinese person like, "Oh, it's your fault individually." Like it's the government's fault, you know what I mean? Like they allowed it to get out of there and it spread to the world. It's still their fault. They got to still hold
And
responsibility.
they benefited the most from this because they're the ones that sells the most masks. They're the ones that are, putting out all these
Manufacturer,
vaccines and
yep.
shit.
Yeah, I heard that if it wasn't for COVID, China was still going to overtake the United States as a superpower in almost a century, but because of COVID, it only sped up the process, you know? But I don't know. I feel
Yeah.
like it's like almost rewarding the country by giving them the Olympics. I'm not saying that we should never have the Olympics in China ever again, but I think, like you got to give them
Right.
a little probational period. Like, hey, for the next decade, we're not going to host any major world sporting events at your country for what happened. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I think that makes a little bit of sense.
I don't know. I think they would definitely feel some type of way if he did that.
I mean, dude, I'm sure they're gonna feel some type of way, but what about the rest of the fucking world? Do you not think that we feel some type of way that the virus came from that country, so it's technically their fault? Just like if it were to come from the United States, the government has to take, uh, um, like stand up and be like, yeah, that was our fault.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I just feel
Yeah, I don't
like
know how to deal with that.
I wouldn't cancel the Olympics because that at that point you're punishing the wrong people. You're punishing the athletes that trained their whole fucking lives for this shit and their parents that have been helping them
Mm-hmm.
train this whole life. And you're also punishing the spectators that want to watch this and the tourists and all that stuff. But if you're literally just taking out of
Yeah.
Beijing and like I said, not for the rest of their existence, but literally just a probational period. Like, hey, we're not going to host anything here for a couple of years.
Yeah, that's complicated because they're pretty powerful. They're a powerful ass country, and if
I
they feel
mean,
some type of way, if they feel like people are, I don't know,
what the fuck are they
I
gonna
feel like
do?
they would
Attack
rebel
people?
some type.
Attack the countries because we said nah, we're not gonna do the Olympics there?
Bro, we depend on China for a lot of things. The whole world depends on China for a lot of things.
Yeah,
What if they
sure.
just cut supplies, the
I
supply
mean,
for things?
we'll figure it out. I'm not saying it's not gonna
Yeah, but the
disrupt shit.
cost will go way up.
Sure, I'm not saying it's not gonna disrupt shit and it won't be chaotic. It will, but we'll figure it out. Bro, China is literally taking over the world.
Yeah, they are.
And they're communist
They are. Yeah,
with
they
or
are.
socialist with Chinese morals or values or whatever it is.
Yeah, and the thing is that they're funding a lot of these colleges as well. So
Mm-hmm.
so people are going to college, kind of being embedded into that mentality in certain things, in certain subjects. So
I
they can manipulate on what people learn out here.
Yes,
And
yes.
not only that, but they're funding a lot of movies. So a lot of movies have, China's decisions. Like
Yeah,
China makes the decisions for what gets cut.
100%.
That's a huge influence right there.
a hundred
If
percent.
you have the educational system like in your fingertips and the fucking media, what more do you need?
And then
And
that's
everything
why
else that they already do.
in a lot of these big movies like Batman, for example, they had that random scene that was in Hong Kong. Why? Because it brings also the Chinese fan base and they sell way more money
Yeah.
because that's a huge market,
Hmm.
you know? And it sucks because like I personally, I have nothing against the actual people of China. You know what I mean? I feel like it's dope. I love learning about other cultures. It's just that I feel like in the long term, the government of China could cause some I don't know, some wars or some negative things around the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they could say the same thing about us
I agree. I agree.
because at the end of the day, bro, the U.S. is fucking bullies, bro.
And that's the thing too. What I really do love about not just the Chinese culture, but the Asian culture in general, for the most part, they're all about respect. You know, the whole bowing down thing and respecting one another, and that I
U.S. don't
love.
give a
Yeah,
fuck.
U.S. is like, ah, fuck you. Like, I hate that. You know what I mean? The fact that it's almost like you walk. I get the confidence, walk with confidence, but you don't have to say fuck you, and fuck you to people at the same time. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
but it gets hard
Like
when
out here, the mentality is whoever is the most successful gets the most respect.
right.
And it's not like that in other cultures.
Yeah.
Like other cultures respect the elders, bro, even if they're like
Yes.
at wrong. Out here, there is no
No,
respect for
bro,
the
I was
elders.
talking to somebody about this the other day. I was like, out here, old people are just treated like shit. I feel like in Asian culture, old people are actually respected, like they're wise and they hold value. They might not be able to work hard or do
Not
certain
just
things.
Asian culture, bro. Like even in Brazil,
Yeah, I agree. You're
I
right.
do believe that in Brazil, like you're taught, you're brought up to respect the elders.
Yeah, I agree
You
with that.
know,
I
even if
definitely
they're
agree.
wrong.
Yeah, you're basically taught like to an elder, you just shut up and walk away.